today, surrounded by flowers. A lesson from the flowers. Turn towards warmth and light, but self-protect in the cold and dark. And this is something we're all able to do. We can know when we're welcome, when we're embraced, when we're looked out for, when we're thriving. And we can also know when it's time to retreat, when this is not the time or place right now, when it's time to nurture ourselves. For whatever reason, the flowers know this. When it's bright and sunny, they open up. When it's nighttime, some of them close down. We had flowers like that. We had a whole hill of flowers in my Kirkland house. And when the sun came out, they would like brighten up, and when a cloud came over, they would actually that quickly, they'd close up. So because it's around here, they spent most of the time closed up, but it was extraordinary to find them opened up. So next, a lesson from the birds. Never lose sight of those most vulnerable. Those most vulnerable is not only people outside of us, but people like you, all of us were looked after when we were vulnerable. All of us have been looked after. And we also can look after and be aware of the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable parts of ourselves, the most vulnerable people around us and beings around us, the most vulnerable parts of our world. And she isn't requiring action. She's saying a lesson from the birds, never lose sight of those most vulnerable. And so they weren't making much of a dent in the crow. But the stellar jays started to talk to each other, and they called over the stellar jays. And first there were like 3, then 5, then 7, then a dozen, then 20 stellar jays. And more stellar jays were coming. And the crow was like, ugh, and flew away. And so, without any violence, just by observing the weakness, the stellar jays were like, look, this robin is a member of our community. And we want to make that clear to the crows, who are also members of our community, but we want to teach them to be good to the robins. So let's do the next one. Oh, a lesson from the snakes. How many people love snakes? No, okay, so we're a minority. A lesson from the snakes. Learn to let go and shed what no longer builds you up. Learn to let go and shed what no longer builds you up. So if you've ever seen, snakes will release their whole skin. And at first glance, it can look a little bit like an astral traveling snake. It's sort of ghost-like. But what happens is their skin doesn't grow, and so they grow a new skin, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they have to wriggle out of their skin and grow a new skin so they can continue growing. And that can be a lesson for us, that when we find ourselves constrained by circumstances that used to be wonderful, we can let go, we can find what to let go so that we can continue to grow, we can advance, we can move towards our inner edge. Let's do the next one. Oh, this is my favorite. A lesson from the sun. Radiate warmth and light to nurture those around you. Radiate warmth and light to nurture those around you. I heard of a study lately that indicated just by being happy, if you're happy, people who know you have a 15 to 25% greater chance of being happy themselves. So your happiness impacts by 15 to 25% those people who you know. Not only that, your happiness impacts 10% of the people they know. So these are people you don't even know, but they know somebody who you know. 10% of those people will be happy because you're happy. And beyond that, people who know those people, 6% of people who don't even know anybody you know, but they know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows you. And they get happy. So as we approach our inner edge, as we become happy, as we look for joy, as we find gratitude, we are making a positive difference in the world. It's measurable that people who we don't even know are happier because we are able to be happy. It is a lot of happy. Oh, there's one more of these. And we recognize others rely on your strength, your grounding, your growth, and your support. And we see the daughter, on the one hand, it would have been so cool if I got an art show like that when I was 13. On the other hand, being a teenager, I would have probably been like, Mom! But luckily, they live in Minnesota, and so the daughter doesn't have to look at this. It's in the Quilt Museum in LaConner. So, Howard Thurman says, "Fierce indeed is the grip by which we hold on to our lives as a private possession, us alone. The struggle to achieve some sense of individuality in the midst of other people and things can be grim. The demand is ever present to distinguish between the self and the not self. That's not me, that's me. There are moments of enthusiasm when with mounting excitement we absorb ourselves in something beyond ourselves. But after this, we fight at length to get back home, to come again into the familiar place, to be secure in our own boundaries. Again and again, the process repeats itself, wearing down the walls that shut us in. So every time we practice being part of a group, pushing against our inner edge, seeing what more expanse there is for us, we make that membrane, we make those walls thinner, we make those walls weaker until we push all the way through them, drop them like snakeskin. Ernest Holmes sees ourselves as localized expression of the infinite mind. So each of us, I am a localized expression of the infinite mind. There are dozens, there are 20 localized expressions of the infinite mind in this room. And so for Ernest Holmes, the edge is where our limited self dissolves into unity with spirit as lived realization, practical transformation. How we think, speak, and move through lives when we stop arguing with our own nature. And this gets back to the courage, I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. Each of those are emotions which are pro-social, which bring us into oneness, which are part of us as part of the group. Courage is the ability to do what needs to be done independently of, risks or embarrassment. Curiosity, what's over there, what's part of me? And compassion, compassion is how we, even when we make mistakes, even when people make mistakes, we can embrace them, we can love them, we can see them as their true selves instead of as just the worst thing that they ever did. The Masons talk about it's alchemical work. They talk about raising the lower nature to the higher nature. So the Masons talk about raising the lower nature to the higher nature, the alchemical work of integrating what's unconscious, reactive, and fragmented with what's awake, what's intentional, and what's whole. What's awake, what's intentional, and what's whole. The secret, Masons are well known for having secrets, but the secret isn't information. All the information about Masons you can get on the internet these days. Where do you think I'm getting all this? The secret is hidden identity. our hidden identity, we seem to be just a human, but we're in fact part of the presence of the presence that permeates the universe, of the force that controls the universe. We are part of that infinite self, all of us, and that's the secret. It's not easy to see, but you can feel it. You can feel it in people. So when we're moving into our inner edge, there are three things that I think are important along those lines. One is we do have an inner edge. There is, for even the most enlightened of us, there's a part where I stop and something else begins. Is it spiritual presence that begins? Is it another person? Is it where my skin stops and the air begins? So there is an edge, and if we meet our inner edge, not with like, I'm done over there, but like, look around the edge. Is this a permeable edge? You know, does it expand? What's this like? Do I have to stop here? That's curiosity and courage. We also know that with our edge with Spirit, Spirit knows only perfection. Spirit doesn't see our faults. Spirit sees our idealized selves. Spirit sees what we're trying to do. Spirit sees a beloved child of God in everyone. And so this is one way we know it's Spirit, Spirit is infinitely loving. And I know in my life I've asked Spirit to make judgments about people, and Spirit is not interested. Spirit is like, nope, I love you. You can't find anyone I don't love. Like, but, you know, sometimes you don't get to eat the robins. No, I never want to eat robins. And Howard Thurman talks about the cycle of expansion and return. Every time we allow ourselves to be curious about Spirit, every time we allow ourselves to look twice at a situation, to change our mind about the situation, to be curious about something that we thought was one way, and is there a possibility it's a different way? Every time we do that cycle of expansion and return, it makes our inner edge larger, more flexible, more permeable. So when we think about what do we do with our inner edge and meeting it with courage, curiosity, and compassion, I think our homework would be to think, what part of myself am I ready to welcome home? And I invite you, when you do look at your inner edge, to look at, are there parts of yourself that you are denying? Are there parts of yourself that you're blocking off? Do you have parts of yourself that you're embarrassed about or ashamed about? And this is that you could welcome. In fact, let's just do this. Let's breathe into our hearts for a moment. Let's bring in appreciation, love, ease, and let's just lean back into that ease. And let's just make it easy. And let's invite up some part of us that hasn't felt welcomed, but we're ready to welcome at home now. They're that. And just embrace, explore, and hug that. Welcome that part of yourself home. And let that part of yourself know it's always been welcome. It's always been part of you. And now everybody knows it. And now let's see if there's any other part of yourself that feels ready to be welcomed home. ready to join us. And just allow yourself to embrace that. Even that. And let that part of you know you understand. That part of us is welcome. That part of us has always been welcome, and now we all realize it. And let's speak a gentle affirmation. I am whole. I am enough. I am loved. Let's say it together. I am whole. I am enough. I am loved. So I encourage you this week, as we bring our attention back into the room, to choose a practice like inviting some part of yourself to be welcome again, writing yourself a note of encouragement, looking at yourself in the mirror with kindness, forgiving yourself for something you've been holding. And every act of compassion moves you closer to deep self-acceptance. You know, we'd like to have a life of wonder or radical amazement. And we can have that. We can have that in exploring ourselves. We can have that in our world, as long as we're open to it. So as we grow our inner edge. So let's say our inner edge quote, affirmation a couple more times. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. And so we do. So we move through with our inner edge, and we're going to be exploring more edges throughout the month of February, including our edge of, we'll get to explore our new building. There's still rooms of it that are barely familiar to me. And I'm sure we'll be finding out more of its secrets and hidden wonders as we go on. So as we move forward to meet our inner edge, let's see if we've got our yellow prayer cards. I don't have one with me, but everybody else does. And of course, people at home. Oh, thank you. Props. Got to get my props. On one side of the card, you find my prayer demonstration, and this is where you write down whatever strikes you as being, oh, look, everybody needs the prayer cards. The prayer demonstration is any instance of you manifesting something that you wanted to see, that you were delighted by on the earth. And then on the other side is a prayer request. And you can do prayer request for others, for yourself. It can be a prayer of gratitude or a prayer of need. All prayers work. This is how we work with God. We express our need, and the law fulfills it. And the law in this case is aided by our practitioners. The prayer cards are given to the practitioners who pray on them all week, adding their powerful consciousness to your already powerful consciousness.
other way back to us. The other way back to us. When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, when I am still and wait there in the silence until you come and sit a while with me, you raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Genesis is a community dedicated to love, inspiring harmony, and creating connections that empower spiritual growth. And we love that you are here to share that with us today. This is an invitation to participate in circulation, the law of circulation that we've been talking about. That as you give, so shall you receive. And as you allow yourself to receive, so you become more abundant, so you can give more. We connect with abundance and generosity. Your participation makes all this possible, so we truly appreciate your support. Let's take a moment to craft our financial gift. So if you're online, you can go to genesiscsl.org and donate. Otherwise, you've got an envelope here that you can donate with, or you can donate online, auto donation. All these methods work, and we appreciate all the different methods of abundance and generosity. So now let's say our offering blessing together, holding your envelope and prayer card to your heart. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am thankful. So now Gideon will now collect your offering and your prayer cards. While they do, let's stand and sing, I give because I believe.
Because I believe in love, I give. Because I believe in love, I give. Because I believe in love, and love is given to me.
So grateful for these gifts. With deep gratitude, we receive these gifts, recognizing the power of stepping into the flow of divine goodness. We all allow ourselves to receive as we give, embracing the circulation of bounty for all. And so it is. So thank you for joining us here today. Please join us after the service for food and fellowship. I'll be in the alcove for those who would like to pray with a spirit. We'll try to figure out where the alcove is. I think it might be back there.
The stairway chair. King rides up down when he prays.
Oh, there you go. So for those who'd like to pray with me after the service, I'll be in that alcove, wishing everybody a week filled with joy, love, and true connection. Please let's stand and sing our closing song. I love this one.
Love, I'm holding love in my heart. Peace, I'm knowing peace in my mind. Joy, I'm feeling joy in my life. And we are one, and together we rise. Rise, together we rise. Standing in beloved community, together we rise, together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise. Through love, I'm filled with love in my heart. Peace, I'm knowing peace. Joy, I'm feeling joy in my life. We are one, and together we rise. Together we rise. Together we rise. Standing in beloved community. Together we rise. Together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise. Together we rise. Together we rise. Standing in beloved community. Together we rise. Together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise.
Thank you. Go forth with joy. Our new building, and we will take a survey to see who wants to do book club today.